Welcome everybody to another edition of Jeep 411. Today we are testing the suspension and the Roadian MTX tires on our JL Sport S project. We're still running stock gears, but we'll see how this thing works. We're going to be on our training area on 2N70Y, which is a Black Diamond trail, good beginning rock crawling trail, and then later we'll be on Gold Mountain, so stay tuned.
Passenger front's gonna go up. Driver rear is going up.
Whoa, tight the booking. Somebody's always knocking, and the key to the lock is the hand of the clock. Tick tock, whoa, tick tock, got to pick it up. Whoa, got to pick it up. Yeah, you know I bought the time and I never waste. Got to, ooh, got to, shake, got to, ooh, got to, shake.
Well, Bill, it's always interesting to test new vehicles, and we've got some interesting impressions of the Superlift 4-inch lift kit with the King shocks. And the King shocks are the 2.0s, and they're actually designed to work with the Superlift lift package. And I'm actually fairly impressed with it. It's certainly different than driving a JK with a suspension that we both have on our Jeeps. But it works really well and the ride's pretty good. What were your impressions of that so far?
I love the ride. It felt solid. It was a little stiffer than my JK, but I actually prefer that. The shocks seem to work extremely well. I'd like to try them on my JK just to see the difference. But I was impressed.
Yeah, now keep in mind that we're still running the stock axles and transfer case. The transfer case is a 272 low range gearing, and the axles are a 345 to 1 ratio. I was pretty surprised at how this performs. It was actually pretty interesting.
It did a great job. I'm sure the suspension, we had plenty of articulation. And there are no lockers. So we were able to get up just about anything we pointed it at.
Yeah, and on Gold Mountain it was interesting because it's so dusty, and it's that fine silt in places, especially the second obstacle. And it just got a little bit of wheel spin, but just motored right up there. And we're really used to the Nexen Roadian MTX tires, especially the 37s. And they give us great traction. So I'm very pleased with those. But you still have to have a suspension that allows the tire to work. And the Superlift suspension certainly seemed to do that. And I'm very happy with the King shocks. We were able to stuff the tires right up into the fender wells in the rear through some pretty nasty ruts, which you'll see on the video. But overall, articulation is great, and the feel of the vehicle is good. In the rocks, it's fine. Might be a couple little glitches here and there. We're going to have to check the suspension, see if something loosened up. But overall, very pleased with it.
Very nice. Back to the transmission, I was able to feather it through just about anything. And I didn't have to brake to lock up the additional wheel or the outside wheel. Just a little bit of feathering, a little bit of feathering, a little bit of feathering, and I was able to crawl up all of it, including the loose hole over there in the training area.
Boy, that hole has gotten deep big. Since we've had this Jeep the last 2 months. It's gotten really bad.
It's a sinkhole. It's a sinkhole.
It has to be a sinkhole.
Rose Mine's there, isn't it?
Somewhere.
Yeah,
I think
we're going to end up in the mine someday.
We're going to find some gold, I think. Well, that'd be okay.
Yeah, we won't tell you, of course.
No, of course. We'll keep that video a secret. Anyway, the other thing that's interesting about the JL, stock brakes, and I'm on my JK, I'm running the Black Magic front brakes and the Dynatrac rear brakes, which make a huge difference. Much less pedal effort to get these big 37s slowed down. But I'll tell you, I think the stock JL brakes work at least as well as those Black Magic and Dynatrac front and rear brakes on my JK.
Absolutely. It took a little getting used to. You have to. It's very fine motor skills.
Yeah,
But it will do what you ask it to do.
Yeah, and going down, they work great. I really don't see a need for the hill assist with those brakes, but they're a little touchy. Takes some getting used to, but I probably wouldn't be too afraid to run 40s with those stock brakes.
Oh, I think they work just fine.
But I will tell you, you're not going to run 40s with stock fender flares on a JL without either more lift or bigger aftermarket fenders, because we were getting some rub, especially in the rear.
Yeah, you'd leave them on the trail someplace.
Yeah,
You'd be picking it up, throwing it in the back.
or leaving them on the trail.
No,
No, we wouldn't do that. We spent way too much time last week
cleaning up on
crap
Gold
up on
Mountain.
Gold Mountain.
That's right.
Any other comments, Bill?
Overall, I like the suspension. Like my comment earlier, it is a new vehicle, so it's going to feel and sound solid, but I tried to do my best to ignore that, and I really do think that suspension's working out great.
Yeah, a new vehicle has advantages and disadvantages when you're testing suspension. The good news is it's not going to stay new very long, especially the way we use stuff.
True, but with the right suspension components in it, it's going to last. But the thought that came into my mind is this is a little sport that's doing great
Oh, yeah.
without spending the money on a Rubicon. Sorry, Jeep.
Yeah, well, and we're going to be going to Curry 60 axles, full skid plates from Rock Hard 4x4, PSE steering. So there was absolutely no reason to buy a Rubicon and take those axles off and
And put the Curries in.
Yeah,
No sense
yes.
spending the money on those axles.
it was $10,000 to $12,000 more for the Rubicon, and most of the benefits of the Rubicon are going away. But I'll tell you, a stock sport, even with the 30 and 35 Dana 30 front and 35 rear axle, works pretty well.
It does. The only thing that you'd have to concern yourself with would be the axle.
The housings would bend.
And the spline of the
and
axle.
the spline of the axle. So yeah, the axles would
if
be
you don't know
weak.
how to drive and you're not too easy on the skinny pedal, you could start twisting those.
Yeah, that'd be pretty easy to have happen, and we've seen it happen. So that'd be something. And with that front axle disconnect, I'm not too sure how sturdy that is. The jury's still out on that. But 37s are marginal on the sport. If you're going to go to 37s, you might and not do much else. You'd probably want the Rubicon with the Dana 44s.
Yeah, that'd be the only thing I could think. But otherwise, extremely capable vehicle.
Yeah, yeah, and even moderate black diamond trails, the stock axles on this, I think, would be fine if you're easy on equipment. Well, we've seen some people that aren't, so it's not for everybody, but a lot of people would be fine with this setup.
It'd be interesting to put this through some rock crawling, real rock crawling, like down at Cougar Buttes.
Oh yeah,
It's a little hot for that right now.
we're up in the mountains and it's almost 90. So yeah, it's probably
Yeah,
110,
we're still in a heat wave.
115.
Yeah.
So one of these days we'll do that, but we'll have. I'd be reluctant to do that without having the full skid plates on it. That would just make me more comfortable.
Right.
Well, everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It helps us reach more people, and that's good for everybody. Again, thanks for watching.